Hi guys, thanks for dropping by Design by Kathy. If you watched my last video, we did a color combination and we used water as the additive. This time, for my own personal curiosity, I want to use that same color combination and this time use my pouring medium. So let's get right to it and see what the difference is. So I've mixed these colors up, the same ones we used in the last video. I've got this this hunter green, my brushed metal, brushed rose gold. I've got black, and of course, well, white. I have used the last of that poor little bottle. And instead of using water as our additive, like I said, we're going to go back with our Liquitex pouring medium. Just want to see what kind of difference. I'm going to try to pour it out in the exact same pattern and method that we did the other day. I've got these mixed up. I ran out of my 12 by 12 canvases, so this is a 12 by 16, and I hope that I've judged to mix up enough paint. We may have to add a little more here and there, but we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to start over. We're going to make little puddles, just various all around here. Oops, I didn't mean to drop a stick in there. This is the one I think I may not. I don't want a lot of black, but I may not have mixed enough. We may have to go back and add a little bit of that. And now my rose gold. I love this color, this brushed metal, and I like these brushed metal paints. They've got just a real cool amount of sheen to them. And then I want to put my white up in this section, white and rose gold. So just, you know, however many puddles you want. And I mean, you don't have to do the same technique. If you wanted to mix it all in, it's totally up to you. This is just, I just wanted to try and do it as close to what I did the other day, or in the last video, and see, I just really am curious to see what kind of look the pouring medium gets versus the water. Now clearly you can use water. A lot of people use water as the additive, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, this is just a little test. I'm just curious myself to see what kind of, if there is any significant difference to using the pouring medium versus water. And I'm sure there's somebody that could tell me right now. But I guess it's, we all like to, we were told not to touch the stove when we were little too, but I bet everybody did it once. So, it's just fun to, well, not touching the stove, but in this case, to try and, experiment for yourself and see what you come up with. And that's the thing that's really fun to me about doing the fluid art is it's almost like every one of them is an experiment. And as once the paint starts flowing, you have a tiny bit of control, but not as if you were trying to paint intricate little details, which, I myself have all my life been in awe of people that had that capability. I had an aunt that was she was just a wonderful artist. She did just beautiful work. Never had any formal training in her life, but she did just wonderful, wonderful. I was always just mesmerized by the things that she painted. And most of what she painted with influence from, you know, my hometown area. And if you've ever heard of Caddo Lake in Texas, she did a lot of Caddo Lake scenes, as many artists and photographers do, because it is, it's a hidden treasure. Well, we know about it, but you know, that's just because that's where I'm from. Okay, so now we're ready to get started. I'm gonna see if I can make me a little extra room here. My little 4-foot table is shrinking constantly, and I don't want to knock any paint off into where it shouldn't go here. All right, so we're ready to get started. Hang on, got to adjust the glasses. One thing I saw this one gal do, and I don't know if it makes any kind of difference, but I'm gonna just give it a little try. She took her fingers. I've got gloves on, I could do that, but she just kind of swooped through like this. And I don't know, but we're gonna give it a try. I'm curious to see myself. And I'm gonna try very hard. Like I said, this is a 12 by 16. I'm going to hope that I keep this in the frame. Now the white is racing away, isn't it? You know, and again, I told you I wasn't sure if I mixed up quite enough paint. If need be, we can definitely do that. My white seems to be moving really well. The green is not moving quite so much here. I did a 1-to-1 ratio pretty much with the Liquitex versus the amount of paint that I used. There's still a lot of paint on here. As I'm looking down the canvas, I can see that there is a lot of paint still here to move. So I'm just gonna let it move on over, and you can see right here it's moving slowly, but you can see it's just taking its little time getting there. I'm trying really hard. I know that I've probably got parts of this out of the scope there, but I apologize because this one is a lot bigger to work with. I'm probably going to end up with it all over me. And I think, let's see. I'm going to add a little bit more medium to this. I'm going to add a little more green, but I am going to put a little bit more of the medium. I want it to be moving a little bit more than what it is. And that's what the medium does. Clearly, if you watch the other video, that's what the water did. That was a brand new bottle, and I've already made it nice and messy, didn't I? Well, I guess that's just the way it is when you're dealing with paint. But it's fun messy. Oh, I love this rose gold. It is, I think it's just like one of my favorite colors. I want to add a little more here, because I just didn't think it was moving across the canvas quite as well as I wanted it to. So we're going to see. Now, one thing, okay, I did do this a little different, and not with an intention. Seemed like when I poured the rose gold on top of the green, it just kind of sunk down in there. So I think I did this particular pour a little bit different on the other one as far as the layering of it, but I still think And I didn't get as much green showing in the other one. I like I said, my paint it flowed. And it's possible I used too much water. I had not tried, you know, like I mentioned, I had not tried that particular, you know, thing before. So it's all trial and error. And that's another thing that makes it so much fun. But now we've got some movement going on here. But it looks like I might need to, need a little bit more here. Let's see if we can go back with our white and gold over here. And also, clearly, I mean, there's numerous different looks that you'd be able to get out of this depending on how much you let, you know, which direction you hold the canvas, how far down you let this come and blend, or this blend with this. So the movement itself is going to continue to get you different results and different looks. So you just want to manipulate it and move it until you're satisfied, with the look that you've gotten. Let's see if we can get it to roll on off the end down here. Yeah, there we go. Just still see some places here that, and I have the paint left for it, so I didn't use all of the paint as I was pouring my initial puddles, so this is okay. This one, on the other hand, I may have to add a little more of this. Let me add a little bit more, and I think I'm about at the bottom of my rose gold, so I'm definitely gonna have to try and get some more of that. I love this color. Love, love, love it. I like for my edges, well, one thing, I like the way it looks when it flows off the edge. I like the natural look that it you know, carries the pattern that it's creating on the canvas all the way over to the edge. You can see that's finally, I don't know why, so it gets to those corners and it wants to divide. That just cracks me up. We've still got a lot of movement going on, which is good. Now, as your piece is drying, you want to, excuse me, oops, you want to try to keep it as level as possible. I like to keep it elevated so that whatever drips over, try to keep it, see it from going up underneath and making a ginormous mess underneath. But, you know, that's just, plus I don't want it to stick and gunk up on a flat surface, so I like to elevate it a little bit just to keep that from gunking up, if you will. What flows off the edges, or flows off the sides, use on your edges. One thing that, as far as the comparison that I personally see, now this may not be, you know, the professional theory, but one thing I do see, you know, with the water, it flowed way more rapidly than it's going with the medium. But with the medium, I see that it's keeping, my colors are staying very vibrant. And I'll show you, in just a minute, I'll show you the comparison of the other one that we did. Now, yeah, okay, such a mess. Keep my paper towels as handy as possible. I love these color combinations, I can tell you that for sure. I want to find some of this paint. Yeah, there we go. Oh, yeah, I just didn't want that. Well, I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We're going to see if we can help this little edge a little bit. Which I love how we. I don't know who the we is. You guys and me, you're helping me. There we go. I just want, oh my, I want, there we go. Okay, now I think we can get that to flow on over, I hope, fluidly, which is the purpose. Okay, let's see what we got now. I got a notification Joann's is having a sale today, so go out and get you a couple of things of paint and some canvases. They usually have really good deals, or often have really nice deals on canvas. And it's a little harder to manipulate the bigger size. Start small. Just start small. 12 by 12, 10 by 10, whatever you're comfortable with and what has the best price on it when you go to get it. But start small because, you know, you don't see the ones that we throw away. So, you know, sometimes you can turn them into something else, turn them into a save. Sometimes you can't. But everything's not gonna come out perfect, just like, you know, and I used to didn't think I could cook at all. I was a terrible cook. I love to cook now, and according to my husband, I do a pretty good job. Which was also not necessarily the best thing to let him know I was good at. But anyway, okay, well that is, I think this came out really cool. Really cool, actually. Again, same exact color combination. Same color combination as this, using water as the additive versus using my Liquitex pouring medium. So that's just a comparison for my own benefit and your benefit. Try both, see what looks you can come up with. Well, so there we have it. Two different techniques using the same exact color palette, basically the same exact method, and we came out with two completely different looks. There's no way to really say or reason to say that one is better than the other. It just, that's just the way it is, and that's also working, what I found working with fluid art. One of the things that makes it so much fun is no two pieces will be exactly the same. So weekend's coming up, grab some paint and canvas, and why don't you give it a try? But whatever you do, make it yours, make it personal, and I know you can do it. Thanks for watching.